Good morning, class. Hope you all are good. In the last few turns, we have done chapters on plant physiology. We have discussed absorption by roots and transpiration. Today, I am going to start with photosynthesis. Photosynthesis word can be divided into two parts. Photo means light and synthesis means manufacture or making of food. So in simple terms we can say manufacture of food by the green plants in presence of light is called photosynthesis. Now when I say manufacture of food, food is produced by the plants in form of glucose, which then polymerizes to form starch. So food is prepared in the form of glucose and several molecules of glucose then form starch. This is called a polymerization reaction. Reason poly means many, mer means one unit. Mer is one unit. So several units of glucose make up one molecule of starch. So food is synthesized in the form of glucose, which converts into starch. It is done by green plants. Green plants are green because they contain the pigment chlorophyll and in presence of light. So three things are very clear, that light is essential, green pigment chlorophyll is needed, and food that is going to be synthesized will be synthesized as starch, or in simple terms we say sugar is synthesized by green plants. Now these green plants are the only living organisms on earth that can make food, that can synthesize food, and so they are called autotrophs. Now splitting this word, auto means self and troph means nutrition. So green plants are the only living organisms on earth who can synthesize their food. So the mode of nutrition is called autotrophic, and all other organisms, all other animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants for food. Because they cannot make food, they are dependent on plants for food. Some are directly dependent, like the herbivorous animals eat plants, and those like the carnivorous animals eat the herbivorous animals which eat plants. So this is indirectly being dependent on plants, and herbivores are directly dependent on plants for food. So all the other animals are not autotrophic, they are called heterotrophic. Hetero means different, trophic means nutrition. So they have a different mode of nutrition. So I hope the two terms are clear to everyone. Auto means self-nutrition. Autotrophic is self-nutrition, and only plants can perform the process of photosynthesis. So plants fall under this category. All other animals cannot manufacture food, cannot synthesize food, cannot perform the process of photosynthesis. So they depend on plants for food, and therefore they are called heterotrophic, and the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now the next thing that we are going to talk about now is where does photosynthesis take place? What is the site of photosynthesis? Site of photosynthesis means where does this process of manufacturing food by the plants occur? It occurs in the cell organelle called chloroplast. It is a kind of plastid which contains the pigment chlorophyll. As I have just now told you, chlorophyll is essential green color is essential for photosynthesis. Only green parts of the plant can perform photosynthesis. So chloroplast is the site of photosynthesis. Now coming back to chloroplast, you have studied the various kinds of cell organelles in class 9, and you have studied that the plastids have a double membrane structure. Chloroplast also has a double membrane surrounding the inside. Now this is called, the ground substance is called stroma, and this is the double membrane. Inside there are flat sac-like structures which are present just like a pile of coins. Each of these is called a thylakoid, and a whole stack is called a granum. And there are several such granum thylakoids arranged in stacks like this. They are joined to each other by fret or stromal lamellae. This is called fret or stromal lamellae. And plural of granum is called granum. So this is a structure of a chloroplast. So chloroplast is a double membraned oval structure. The ground substance is called stroma, and there are sac-like structures called thylakoids. These thylakoids contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is present inside the thylakoids, and in a chloroplast there are about 9 types of chlorophyll. 9 types of chlorophyll. It's called chlorophyll A, B, C, D, E, bacteriochlorophyll, like this. Different kinds are there, but the most abundant are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. These 2 types of chlorophyll are very abundant in a chloroplast. And the role of chloroplast and chlorophyll inside the chloroplast is to trap light energy. So we say green color is important because it is going to trap the energy of the sun, and then only synthesis of food will occur. Photosynthesis is the only process which can convert the energy of the sun or the light energy or the radiant energy into chemical energy which is stored in the food. And it is the food that we consume, food that we eat, which gives us energy. So, importance of photosynthesis is great. Now coming to back to photosynthesis, how do we define? I'm going to erase this. I have told you the site of photosynthesis. I have told you what the word photosynthesis means. Now we come to the entire process. If we have to write the definition of photosynthesis, we say photosynthesis is that physiological process by which green parts of the plant manufacture or synthesize food, in presence of light energy from the raw materials carbon dioxide and water. So now this definition has got parts. Green parts of the plant. Manufacture food in presence of light from raw materials, carbon dioxide and water. So when you are writing the definition of photosynthesis, all these underlined parts have to be there to fetch you full marks on the definition of photosynthesis. I repeat, photosynthesis is that physiological process by which green parts of the plant manufacture food in presence of light energy from the raw materials, carbon dioxide and water. And site of photosynthesis, as I just now told you, is the chloroplast. Now, two important parts of the chloroplast you have seen. The ground substance is called the stroma. It's a double membrane structure. These are thylakoids present in stack-like structures called granum joined by frets. So, thylakoid contains chlorophyll and the ground substance is called stroma. The reaction of photosynthesis occurs in two phases, or let me say two stages. The first stage is called the light dependent phase of photosynthesis, light dependent, or it is also called the photochemical phase of photosynthesis. Photochemical phase, or named on the scientist who discovered it, it is also called Hill reaction. This occurs in the thylakoid of the chloroplast. The second phase is called light independent phase of photosynthesis. It is also called the biosynthetic phase, or it is also called the Calvin cycle, and this occurs in the ground substance, the stroma of the chloroplast. So photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast, occurs in two phases. The light dependent phase called the photochemical phase, because thylakoid contains chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs light energy, and that's how the reaction is initiated. Reaction starts, and I will come to the details of both these reactions right now, because I was explaining the structure of the chloroplast. I have introduced the two phases of photosynthesis to you and the site of each phase. Site means the place where each kind of photosynthetic reaction is taking place. The light dependent phase occurs in the thylakoid, the light independent phase occurs in the stroma, and the overall process of photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. Now, chloroplast contains chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is the green pigment. But why does it appear green? So I will explain that to you now. For that I will erase this. Now, chlorophyll is green in color. Why? You know, light has 7 colors and we call them Vibgyor. Chlorophyll absorbs light in the blue region and in the red region, and it reflects light in the green region. So it appears green. And because plants contain chlorophyll, so plants, especially the leaves, appear green in color, and the tender, delicate parts of the plant are also green in color. Because green light is reflected by chlorophyll, and light in the blue region and light in the red region are absorbed by chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll requires light for its synthesis. Chlorophyll requires light for its synthesis. More chlorophyll will be synthesized or prepared if light is present. And we have seen this. If plants grow in dark or under rocks or where no light is available, plants become yellow in color. The green color is lost. Even if we keep plants in our rooms at times and the plant is not getting enough sunlight, we see it starts becoming weak and pale, light yellow in color. But as soon as we keep the pot out in the sun and it is exposed to light, more chlorophyll is synthesized and it starts appearing green in color. So if in dark they appear yellow, and if they are kept in light they appear green, because chlorophyll is synthesized in presence of light. So this was about chloroplast and photosynthesis, site of photosynthesis, structure of chloroplast, and the two phases of photosynthesis, light dependent phase and light independent phase, also called biosynthetic phase. Now we come to the equation of photosynthesis. This entire process of photosynthesis is expressed in the form of a chemical equation. I told you the raw materials are carbon dioxide and water. Now these raw materials combine in presence of light and green pigment chlorophyll to form glucose. Formula of glucose is C6H12O6. And they also produce oxygen as a byproduct. Main product is glucose, and it is this glucose which is then polymerized to form starch. Immediate product of photosynthesis is glucose, then it is polymerized to form starch, and oxygen is given out as a byproduct. Now this water that is being used here as raw material, this is reformed in the reaction, and some water is also produced as a product. Very important, this is not leftover water, not water that could not be used during photosynthesis. This water is formed again. Now any equation whenever you write has to be balanced. To balance this is 6. So we put here 6 molecules of carbon dioxide. Now this is 12 here. This is just 6. This is plus 2, 8 plus 1, 9. It's not balanced. And hydrogen is just 2 here. We have 2, 12 plus 2, 14 hydrogen. So to balance this, we put 12 here. 12H2O gives C6H12O6, 6 molecules of oxygen and 6 molecules of water. Now see if it's balanced. 6 carbon, oxygen is 12, plus 12, 24, oxygen is 6, 6 plus 12, 18, plus 6, 24, oxygen is balanced. 12 into 2, 24 hydrogen, 12, and 6 into 2, 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. So the equation is balanced. This is a complete balanced equation of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is represented by this equation. Now see, these are the raw materials. These are the conditions which have to be necessary. So writing these on the arrow is essential for a complete. If you miss out any of these, the equation becomes wrong. And these are the products that are formed. during photosynthesis. Main product is glucose, which polymerizes to form starch. Oxygen is released as a byproduct, and some molecules of water are reformed during the reaction. The word reformed is very important. They are not leftover molecules of water. They are reformed during the reaction. I will be telling you this when we go into the detailed mechanism of photosynthesis. Now we come to the next topic. What is the importance of photosynthesis? As it is mentioned here, photosynthesis is the only process which helps to manufacture food. So photosynthesis, when we talk of importance of photosynthesis, it is providing food for all. Plants are making food. Let us say food for all. Plants are making food. All others are dependent on plants for food. So plants are autotrophic, others are heterotrophic. Clear? Then you know oxygen is a life supporting gas. Oxygen is a life supporting gas. Nobody can survive without oxygen. So it is because of photosynthesis that oxygen is being provided to us. So photosynthesis is a process that also provides oxygen to all to survive. So the second importance of photosynthesis is that it provides oxygen for all. The third importance of photosynthesis is it consumes carbon dioxide to form food. So it is maintaining a constant state of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So the third importance of photosynthesis is that it maintains a constant amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We know the atmosphere contains 0.03% of carbon, and all animals, factories, brick kilns, they produce carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is picked up by the plants, and that is converted into food. So the air contains a constant amount of carbon dioxide because of the process of photosynthesis. Another importance is that all kinds of plant products, not only glucose, anything, resin, rubber, proteins, oils, everything is a product of photosynthesis in a plant. This is how glucose or starch is converted into various forms, and ultimately it is whatever the plant is forming is a result of the process of photosynthesis. So this was importance of photosynthesis. So today we have discussed what is photosynthesis, definition of photosynthesis, a chemical equation to represent photosynthesis, the site of photosynthesis, the structure of chloroplast, and the names of the two phases of photosynthesis. Light dependent phase of photosynthesis occurs in the thylakoid. The light independent phase occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. Then why do plant leaves and other parts appear green in color? How many kinds of chlorophyll are found in the chloroplast? So I think this much is enough for today. Revise till we meet next time. Stay safe, stay healthy.